Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, wassalatu wassalam ala Rasulullah amma ba'd. In this blog, I want to talk about, a question that comes to me quite often, which is, why? Why did you marry, three wives, etc.? Why did you get into polygamy? Why? What, as a person, or why do you want to, or why did you want to, or this type of thing, which is a fair question. No problem dealing with that. And just first and foremost to dispel the myth, because there seems to be a myth that a revert, particularly Caribbean revert, he looks at Islam and he says, "Oh, never mind about their monotheism, never mind about their following their Sharia and their strict following in obedience to what the Quran and the Sunnah says and the understanding of the Prophet's companions." They say, "Oh, he became Muslim because of that, because he allowed to have four wives. That's why you became Muslim, isn't it?" And they think, "Oh, because I've got a number of wives, that was my intention for becoming a Muslim," which is complete and utter nonsense. And that myth has to get dispelled right here and now. Because first and foremost, if that was my intention, then I still wouldn't be a Muslim, because that intention doesn't fulfill the rights of being a Muslim, which are that you have to believe in the religion. You have to testify that on your tongue, and you have to express it on your limbs. And the intention has to be solely just for one purpose, which is to worship the one God, the one Creator. If I became Muslim for any other reason, then I'd be a hypocrite. I'd be a munafiq, what is known as a hypocrite, someone who's not true to their faith. So becoming a Muslim for any other reason except for the sake of Allah is hypocrisy, and it doesn't enter you into the fold of Islam. So that's one thing. We'll get that out of the way now. It wasn't for the polygamy. And to be honest with you, when I became Muslim, I was like 16, that's like 98 or something like that. Marriage was the last thing on my mind. At 16, who thinks about marriage at 16? Like, I was thinking, marriage? Nah, it's alright. You can skip me, I'm alright. It wasn't something that I ever fathomed, that I would actually one day, I'm gonna enter into a polygamous marriage, or polygynous marriage. Because obviously polygamy is where the man or the woman has more than one partner, where polygyny is where the man, he has more than one partner. So there's a difference. So in Islam we practice polygyny, not polygamy, just for the record. So anyway, it wasn't for the fact that you can marry more than one wife. However, personally, to me, deciding to take on another wife was a very very serious matter that it took me a long time to come to terms that this is something that I might be interested in doing, because there's just such a great responsibility. It's no joke. It's a very, very big, what we call amana. It's like a trust with that father, with that family, with that woman, with those kids, with the whole situation. It's a very, very big responsibility. I wouldn't want to say burden. It's a responsibility that the man, he must fulfill. And if you can't fulfill it, you've got no business getting into polygyny. If you're on benefits and you can barely manage one wife, you've got no business considering or trying to get into polygyny. Although it can happen, and it's not about wealth necessarily, but in a general sense, let's say that certain things have to be in place before you can even consider this as an option in your life. And the responsibility is great. It's immense. So it was something that I struggled with, because there's a number of narrations about the person who's unjust with his wives, between his wives. He shows a favoritism to left or right, or center or back. He shows a favoritism to one of his wives. Then there are outcomes for him on the day of judgment that we believe in, that things won't be right for him. Where he was unjust between them, things are going to be unbalanced for him on that day. And that is a day where nobody wants to have any unbalance, any criticisms against them at all. You're going to need all the good deeds you can get. So it was something that I really kind of thought, no, you know what, I'm not sure if I can do it. I'm not sure if it's for me. I'm not sure if I can, be just. And you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says in the Quran to a near translation or a summary that to marry 2, 3 or 4. But if you fear that you can't be just with them, then take one, and that's enough for you, or that's better for you. So if you can't be just, this is the crux of the matter. Not necessarily equal, but just, meaning fair, you know. So, and then another ayah, he says, and you can never truly be fair between them, even if it was your sincerest desire. Even if that's what you wanted more than anything else to be fair, you can't always be bang on surgically fair. And that is in regards to your feelings, your you know, your love for a person. It can vary, it can change, it can go up and down. You know, you can never have it right, I love you all the same, you know, and you keep it proportioned to each person. That's unrealistic. You know, you can never do that, because some people are just going to do, you know, so much to please you that you just can't help. Just that the love just grows for that person. And, you know, it might change over a period of time where somebody else, you know, starts to do things that just make you adore them. And then the love grows. You can't, this is not in your capability. This is out of your hands. And the you know, the heart is a matter that is with Allah. So yeah, so for me, why did I take on a second wife or a third? It got to the stage where I realized, okay, I am able now. I've got the capability, and it's something that, you know, I would be interested in. And you know what, I love my first wife immensely for the fact that she gave me, you know, a lot of support when I was considering this, and she opened the door for me to walk through and take on a second wife, even though she knew it would mean less time for her. And then a third wife, and meant less time for her, and she's been there from, you know, a long way back, and she's been very supportive, and she's a wonderful woman, and I love her dearly. So I just thought I'd get that in there in case she's watching. I do love her dearly. No, so on a, you know, serious note, so for me, I really like being a husband. This is one of the things for me on a personal basis. Before we talk about, you know, the Islamic benefits, which are immense, which are many. You know, we got, like I mentioned, the Quran, where Allah says marry 2, 3 or 4. So he initiates, he instructs the person towards 2, 3 or 4. And then there's an excuse for them. If they feel they can't be just, then just take one. So the first direction was to what? 2, 3 or 4. If you can't be fair, okay, then just take one. So that is what is indicated. Also, we have narrations of our Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, that to increase the Muslims, have a big community that all, you know, worship Allah. And this is in his favor, in his benefit, because he was the first person to call to Islam. So in this sense, so you become part of his ummah, his people, the people of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. So he asked, help me have a big ummah. And in that sense, you must have a big family, have big communities. And to have big communities, you have to, you know, have kids, obviously, and build, you know, and call people to the religion of Islam and these type of things. So, and then there's a narration from one of the companions that the best of you is the one who marries more. Meaning that the one who's got more wives, he's better because he's doing more. He's getting more reward. He's getting more blessings. He's doing more teaching. He's doing more. He's got more of a responsibility. He's got more, you know, on his plate, so to speak. So, you know, the ayats of the Quran, the statements of the Prophet, the, you know, the statements of the companions, that's as from an Islamic point of view, even that would have been enough for any man to say, right, you know, it's upon me, it's a duty upon me. And there's many, many more, but we don't have time for that. On a personal basis, personally, why me? Why do I want polygamy? Why am I in it? I like being a husband. I really do. It's something that I get a great sense of fulfillment out of. I'm not the type of person that wants to be at home, bumming on the couch, you know, doing nothing every day, just, you know, claiming benefits and just being a bum. No, I like to work. I like to be responsible. I like to take on, you know, charge of things and be a leader and help and assist. And I think maybe that's why I got into charity work. Maybe because I like to help. I like to, I like that feeling of helping someone. I like that smile on a person's face when you give them money and they were really in need. And that gratitude, and they're like, alhamdulillah, praise be to God that this person just came about at this time and helped me. I like that feeling. It's very, very fulfilling and rewarding. I'm addicted to it, to helping people, to supporting people, and to, doing whatever I can to help someone. I think that's part of my responsibility as a Muslim. And so I enjoy that. That's one thing I enjoy. So being in a marriage is, even if you just got a monogamous marriage with a man and a wife, any husband knows when your wife's pleased with you, there's no better feeling than that. Happy wife means happy life, right? So when your wife's happy, you've fulfilled her responsibility, her duties, her rights, you put food on the table, you've put clothes on her back, you paid the gas and electric and the water and the rent, and, you put food, everyone's content, and she's pleased with you. It's a good feeling. It's a nice feeling. It's like, yeah, I'm not a waste man. I'm not a useless person. I'm a person that, is able to fulfill this responsibility. Especially when her parents become pleased with you. That's the best feeling. when my wife's father praises me or puts compliment towards me, it is the best feeling. It's like, yes, I'm pleased today. Not pleased just because of his pleasure. I'm pleased ultimately because I'm pleasing Allah. I know that I'm pleasing my Lord, my Creator. I'm out here doing what I'm supposed to be doing as a Muslim. Enjoying the good and forbidding the evil, and doing, implementing my religion to the best of my ability. I know that Allah is pleased with that, and that's what my ultimate pleasure is. But from the sense of the people is that the family are pleased with you. Just like if someone's married to my daughter and he's doing good by her, I'm going to be pleased with him because I'm happy that my daughter's happy. So these type of things, are what comes into wanting to be or being in a polygamous marriage, that I can fulfill the rights and I can aid and assist, and I can do good by my wives. You understand? And then maybe a person who's got more than one wife, he's better than a person who's got no wife or one wife. It doesn't mean because he's got one wife he's a better husband, or if he's got no. You understand? He can be better due to the fact that he's fulfilling his obligations better. So that's part of the striving to be the best Muslim, to be the best student, to be the best son-in-law, to be the best brother to my brothers and sisters, to be the best neighbor, to be the best husband and the best father. That is my striving. That is what I pray for. Oh Allah, make me the best of these things, the best student, the best you got to strive. You got to try to be the best that you can in whatever you put your mind to. And I've put my heart and my mind and my body into Islam, and I want to be the best Muslim I can be. And obviously I know that I'm not, and there are far better people out there than me, more educated, more capable, more implementing of the religion. But for me, within my little circumference, I'm trying my best, and I'll continue to do that, inshallah. And so that's one of the things that drives me, and I enjoy it about being in a polygynous setting, is that I can do my best, and I can keep doing my best, and within my ability to please my wives. And I like to be a husband that's pleasing his wives. Why shouldn't I? And I love my wives, and they love me back, and we're happy. I mean, what's wrong with that? Please, I'd like to know. Anyway, and just from a further perspective, a third angle is that from a humanitarian angle, which is that, like is well known, sometimes women struggle to get married for whatever reason. They've been divorced, they can't have kids, they've got a number of kids and they've been divorced, they're sick, disabled, they're mature. Many reasons why sometimes it's a bit difficult for women to get married. And as you know, we don't have clubs and boyfriends linking and going out dating, and all of that. We don't have that. We've got marriage or nothing. Yeah? So for someone to get into a marriage, it's a serious lifetime commitment. And so it takes a lot of, sitting down, meetings, assessing compatibility, and all of these type of things, which, it just doesn't happen enough. So for a woman who's maybe she's having difficulty or she's been through difficulty, I believe she's got a right to get married. She's got a right to have a husband just like anyone else. She's got a right to be loved and to be supported physically, mentally, spiritually, sexually, financially, socially. She's got a right to it. And so it's upon us as Muslim men that we fulfill the rights of our sisters. Because if you don't marry them, then what do you want them to do? Sit there and become spinsters, leave the religion, try to chase men that are want them for their beauty, because they're beautiful women, isn't it? So if they take off their hijab, maybe a man, he might have become close and attracted to her. That's what the shaitan will have her thinking if the men don't step up and marry our sisters. And as I said, I don't believe polygyny is for everyone. No, some people it's for you, some people it's not for you, and that's a personal decision that someone has to make within their heart of hearts. Do you understand? But on a humanitarian basis, we should be marrying our sisters and supporting them and providing for them and being responsible men, and not, sitting on benefits, sitting around, thinking that this is life. This isn't life. It is to marry, to propagate our religion, to try to leave the country and go to Muslim countries where you can immigrate to and live amongst Muslims, and not be under pressures like this. Oh, look, he's polygamous, la 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 la, and it's a hard time for you just to implement your religion. No, but within our setting, we do the best we can. We do the best we can. But so in a general sense, from a humanitarian angle, it's also important that brothers, consider, the prospect of polygyny, and sisters as well, because it's the sisters. If it's up to you, brothers generally they're on it, but if the women are not for it, then it's not going to happen, is it? Because it's not that we're going to go around forcing people to be second wives and third wives. It's a choice that has to be made, and that person has to be assessed to be worthy by the father. So it's not just about sweet talking a woman. You've got to be worthy. The man, the father, or the brother, he's got to sit you down and assess you and verify you and say, yeah, you're worthy. So it's about us stepping up our Islam and our implementation so that we become worthy husbands, inshallah. So yeah, this is why these are some of the reasons why. The reasons are just so many, and I don't want to take up your time. You guys are busy. I gotta go. But this is some of the reasons why I got into polygamy. Why I believe it's the right thing for our society as a whole. And the ultimate benefits are upon the society. That the family basis, the core institution of society is the home. So it has to be nurtured and built upon Islamic values, and it has to be strong. And so if we have good homes, we have good families, we have good children, we have good society in a general sense, and we cut out a lot of the vices that are prostitution and fornication and adultery and some of the horrible, disgusting things that are going on today. It can all be resolved by maybe just this sunnah of polygyny, amongst obviously implementing it within an Islamic setting. And Islam in a general sense is the solution, but polygyny would save a lot, would be a great start for some of these people who think, well, if I have the choice between adultery and polygyny, he's going to choose polygyny every single time, but he just doesn't have that choice. So what does he do? He falls into sin. So may Allah guide us and make us Muslims, and to make us people that implement the religion how it's supposed to be implemented, and give the rights of the wives how they're supposed to get their rights. And may the wives give their husbands the rights that he's entitled to, that he's supposed to be getting. And then we can start working towards harmonious family life, harmonious Islamic life, harmonious society. And Allah knows best. Now.